What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Exos Heroes video. And welcome to my video guide for the Summer Festa Core Raid. Now before we do start, like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help this channel guys, and I really do appreciate all the support that you guys give me. Now without further ado, let's start this video. Okay guys, so we'll start this video off with the very important passive abilities that the bosses will have across the board, and it's called Summer Fever. This will make them immune to all reflect damage, status effects, debuffs, and mark effects. This will also grant them a dimensional barrier, which grants them a barrier equal to 2% of your maximum owned health for one round at the beginning of a round. This will have extra 2% every round and will reset upon break. They will also have Guardian's Oath. When the round starts, they will have an attack and defense increased by 50%, and this stacks every round as well. This is removed upon break. Alright guys, so now let's take a look at Papa Glenn's abilities for this one. Scorching Sudden Attack, which is going to be 100% damage to one enemy and increasing his defense by 18% for 6 turns. This will also inflict shock to the target, and his second ability will be on all attack on enemies, dealing 119% damage, and will afflict a shock for 3 targets with the lowest maximum HP. Now moving on to Yao, which she will have her refreshing 8 trigrams, which increases all allies attack by 28% of her own attack for 8 turns, and refreshing Blooming Red Lotus, which deals 450% damage to one enemy, and she will get a reset if that target dies, and this will also afflict shock to her target. And finally, the beautiful Bernadette will be getting a Summer Frostfang, which deals 300% damage to one target and will afflict a freeze debuff to that target. She will also have Summer's Genius Frost Witch, which is going to be a burst ability, so be careful with this one. She will require 3 mana to actually use this, and will deal 178% damage to all targets, and will afflict freeze to 3 targets with the lowest maximum health when the skill hits. Alright guys, so now let's move on to some Summer Festa raid core tips. This might be kind of the same as the previous raid cores, but in case you haven't seen any of my previous video, the first one is going to just bring a Dragonblood character. The Wrath will really help take off those armor stones, which will help you to break the targets, therefore resetting all their barriers and all their attack buffs and defense buffs. Next is to bring in characters that have dot effects on their skills. Now, you might be curious if the dot effects does work, and I can literally tell you they do still work, even though they have so much immunities. For some reason, dot effects is not covered in the immunities, so it's definitely going to help in removing those armor cores. Now, the sequence for their armor cores per health bar is going to be from fire to light and then ice. And finally, you can burst down their HP bars if you time it right with your own burst abilities. You can pretty much skip off the light core and maybe even go to a certain extent to actually kill them if you're lucky enough to get a lot of crits, and of course if you do time it right. Alright guys, so this is going to be basically the end of the video, and I'll just give you guys my final thoughts regarding this event. Honestly speaking, it's kind of the same as what we've had so far. The only difference between this and the first Guardian is the enemies don't actually have a lot of AoE attacks, and that means you can't take advantage of the Dragon Blood as much as we did with the raid core, with the first Guardian raid core, because that one they had dot effects which triggers Wrath again. This time we're gonna be dealing with a lot of stuns because of shock. So rather than keep triggering, you know, the Dragon Blood and the Wrath, which makes it so much faster, there is some, I guess, tactics included in this one. Obviously, if you're strong enough, you can just overpower the entirety of the raid core, but it sort of reminds me more of the very first raid core we got, which was the core reversal, which was the very first one. It really reminds me of that. Obviously, my account is a lot stronger than it was previously, so it's a lot easier for me to actually do that. But if you're just starting out, yeah, follow the tips that I have here, and you can just redo the fight. The amount of HP you do take off will remain until you pretty much clear the fight. So don't worry if you can't kill it in one go. You can just go back and rearrange your team depending on the armor cores that the boss have where you left off. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Please do remember to click like and subscribe. Once again, it does help the channel, and I really do appreciate all the support that you guys give me. And of course, it helps with the YouTube algorithm as well. Hit the bell button so you don't miss out on any of my videos. And follow me on Twitter and on Facebook at Munchkins Gaming. Leave down in the comments below if you guys felt like you wanted more or a much different raid core than the previous ones, and did you think this is kind of like a repeat of the event and maybe they should just mix it up a little bit from time to time. I think they sort of tweaked this a little bit because the first Guardian raid core was a joke, so they kind of tweaked it a little bit so you can't like abuse the wrath. So do you think that's enough of a change, or do you want something else, maybe a world boss or something along those lines? But let me know down in the comments below. This is Munchkins logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next level.